In 10 days, Mufasa the Lion King arrives.
Long ago, Mufasa and Scar set out to find home, but something was hunting them.
On December 20th,
There will be one ruler, one king.
discover the story
Do not let him divide us.
behind the scar.
Fight with me. Brother, I'm gonna make you proud.
Mufasa the Lion King. Tickets on sale now. In theaters December 20th. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Zuzga-Reed, a pediatrician at Mercy One Children's Hospital. Your family's health decisions are important. We know you may have questions about vaccines, and that is completely normal. Vaccines are safe, effective, and crucial for keeping your family healthy, especially during flu season. If you have any questions, talk to your healthcare provider. They can give you the facts you need to make the best choice for your family. Protect your family and community. Consider getting vaccinated today.
Healthcare.gov has plans for health because you have plans for life. All plans cover doctor visits and emergency care to keep you and your family running strong. All plans cover hospital stays and prescriptions so you can have peace of mind. Visit healthcare.gov to explore health plans from the brands you know. 4 out of 5 customers can find a health plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Enroll at healthcare.gov by December 15th for coverage starting January 1st. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Uh, Okay. We're in. First round. Okay. I had a couple... Whew. I knew this would happen. Okay, so I did have the deck list up at some point. So he's playing a Luris deck. We don't have green, but we got the lands. I think we got a mulligan. Okay. Got a little bit more interaction here. I'm going to keep, and I think I'm going to bin. Ooh, this is a tough one. Deluge or Krasis. I think I'm going to bin Deluge. And let's get started. Okay. So in the description, you can see the deck list if you want to check it in Moxfield. I did have it up. All right, I did decide to go against my will and add a third color. I had mentioned playing... Oh. Okay, so this is like a Jund energy. Okay. So I'm glad we kept the route. So I'm trying out route. Okay. That doesn't put it onto the battlefield, so I'm just all right with that. Okay, what do we got here? So I unfortunately have to play the beachfront tapped. So I can play Castle Vantress untapped next turn. And at least present some sort of damage. Or interaction, rather, not damage. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully tonight actually fires off and it wasn't as awful as it was previously. Okay. Hopefully the audio is fine. That's something I was a little concerned with. Specifically like the music. So I'm just testing that out tonight, I guess. I think we just take two. Live with it. We got plenty of ways to gain life here. Okay. So it's going to be able to take a Planar Genesis or a Swords to Plowshares. I guess he could take the Krasis too. Never really even thought about that. So do I pop off and play a Swords right now? Trying to even think what his other threats could even possibly be. I kind of would prefer him to... I really want to keep the Genesis. So I'm going to keep that in hand. The Swords. In hopes that that's what he takes. Okay. So that's also kind of scary that that's what he's taking. Because that's kind of indicating to me what he may have. Ah, yikes. This could be rough. Okay. That's the kind of spells that we don't like to see. And that is what happens when you don't have counter magic up right away. Okay, so I'm going to have to play this Port Town tap because I need to be able to hit my fourth land. Bring something back. Either with a Tamiyo or maybe draw a card. I don't necessarily love having to play the card that I drew, but I got to be able to hit my mana on curve here. Welcome everybody. Appreciate everybody stopping in. Bant Reclamation is what I'm playing tonight, so if you interested, in the description there should be... Alright, so he's just drawing a card. There should be a deck list, I believe. Okay. Alright. The faster we get to this Tamiyo, the faster I can possibly get an Uro out. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. Okay, so now we are in the mode where what do we pick? Because I don't know if there's really anything I want to put in my hand right now. But I also don't want to lower Tamiyo to die. Alright, I think I'm just going to tick this up. And I'm going to just name something pretty generic here, like a counterspell. Because then the next turn, what I can do... Okay. We were just hoping that Tamiyo can stay alive into the next turn. It's looking likely, and so the next turn I should be able to pick up a Wilderness Reclamation. Okay, we can just F6 through our turn, I guess, or whatever it's called nowadays. Okay. Kind of wonder what he's got going on, that he's just sitting and playing nothing. I wonder if he maybe needs a second red. Okay, that can get Planeswalkers. Yikes. It's a pretty bad start. Pretty bad showing for us right off the bat. Okay. Shoot. Okay, well, we got our counterspell. Fortunately, it's not really what we were looking for. The him and discard has not been particularly good. Okay. So I think we do have some cards that'll be fairly solid sideboards. All right, what do we got? Okay, he's just going big at us, all right. It's a lot of damage coming through. All right, dead counterspell in hand. Awesome. Man. That discard's brutal. I think I'm just going to have to try to bait him into something here and just hold Port Town up. Maybe he'll cast something. But with 2 layers, I don't really see him doing anything but activating and going. Okay. Not how we wanted to start. Okay, what can we bring in? I get the feeling Route will be pretty good. I'm trying to think if they're going to have any graveyard synergy where I need to feel like I'm going to need to bring in Rest in Peace. Can't quite particularly remember. I did play a version, and I just don't know what he's playing. It's like Recurring Nightmare, but with energy. So some cards I'm considering is these Calms. Whoops. To maybe counter discard. Maybe an extra Route. And then, man, I just have a feeling. I mean, maybe they're not on that at all, and this could just be a totally dead card. I can't think what the card is called, but it's basically a Recurring Nightmare. Maybe I just hedge my bets, because I don't know if they're actually on that or not. That's 5 cards. Oh, man. So 1, 2... 3. It's not as easy. Sideboarding's definitely my weakness, as I'm just still kind of learning to play these. I guess if I get a Tamiyo in play underneath the discard, her passive kind of puts an end to that. I can't imagine I cut many of these, right? I got a minute. Man, that's stressful. I just don't know if they're on it, so I just have a hard time committing to that. It's tough when it's an unknown format, like kind of like we're in. And then I'll shave something like this. I'll just shave a little bit of everything and see what we can do. Because I don't want to over sideboard, but I feel like we get wrecked with that discard again. It's gonna be game. All right, let's see what we get. So I am going to be able to hold up turn 2 counterspell. But that might be completely worthless if we just come up against a turn 1 Inquisition. We have no way to accelerate into our Wilderness Reclamation. I mean, I think I'm just going to give it a shot. I think anything with a lot of cheap discard like that's going to be rough on us. So what we're hoping for is tap, land, go. Okay. Once Upon a Time's pretty cool. Ignorable Hierarch. I mean, that's got to be a couple dollars, and Lantern War Waste. Okay. It's a pretty good start. Okay, so we're just going to hold Counterspell up here for as long as we can do it for. And I was hesitant to play 3 colors, basically for this exact reason, is the tap lands I feel like are just so brutal. You know, and you have to play a certain amount of them. I think I'm just going to have to let that go. I just have to try to play to the board of what they have with creatures. Like if they him, be a great time to pop off with a counterspell. And that's, I guess, why we held it up. Put in the good work. Counterspell did its job. Soul Ring, though, whew, this is a scary start right here. Okay, so we can play a Citadel, and this is going to be great because then this is going to allow us to at least play a Reclamation, assuming that we don't get himmed again, or double himmed. Okay, Raptor, could be anything. A Duress. Dang it, dude. See, the thing that's tough about this deck is it's a fine line of you need that acceleration to get that Reclamation out fast, but you also need like a good amount of interaction, and maybe I just don't have the right mix. Okay. All right. Man, we needed that Reclamation up big time. All right, we're not out of it, though. He's got a good start, but nothing that we can't maybe crawl ourselves out of. There it is, baby. Let's go. Let's hope that he just doesn't have something to kill it with, because I have nothing to follow it up with besides these Wraths. Better lucky than good, you know what I mean? All right, we will untap. Okay. Go on in, buddy. Alright. So again, we're just trying to avoid double him. Something along those lines. Okay, just casting that. Like to think I'm going to get a recurred Luris here soon. second. Yeah, so he's spending like $1 a piece on these Llanowar wastes. So I'm kind of wondering what these hierarchs are, what the top end stuff looks like. Okay. Yeah, so I guess we can pop off, we can reveal, and I think we just got to go ahead and use this. Try to slow him down. It sucks because he's going to get a Luris and then play something from that, which is going to ultimately result in, what do you call it? Probably another Amped Raptor, but it is what it is. Okay. Drawing a card. Getting a land. Alright, so if we want to start doing stuff, we're going to need Krasis soon. We're going to need... Unfortunately, I did take a Deluge out. Man, Amped Raptor's kind of a busted card. Alright, here we go. We're right back where we started. Alright. 3, 4, 5, 6. Not sure how we're going to deal with this Mosswood Dryad. We can take some more hits, though. I don't think we're in any rush to pop the second one off. Keep in mind that next turn we can start casting Route on their turn. But this guy's got so much value going on. He's just grinding me to oblivion with that. Because this thing basically gets cast every single turn if he wants it to be. Okay. Yeah. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. I mean, I might as well cast it. The downside would be if he's playing something like Maelstrom Pulse. But it is what it is. But we're needing some action here fast. We got our Reclamations. Fortunately, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what it costs to cast a Route on their turn. So this is going to take me down to 3. I mean, I just have to do it. Not looking good for the home team right now. I'm curious whether or not, and we can look at the deck list and do a little compare and contrast about what the strict blue-green, which was this, what do you call it? The original deck list I had was going to be playing. But right now I just feel like we're getting murdered by tap lands. But on the other side, if I just play blue-green, what are the odds that you know, I can't just interact with that first batch of creatures at all. So, okay. It's like Crisis or bust at this point. I guess Uro maybe. Just, I don't even think Uro's buying me a turn. Another route might buy me one more turn again. Assuming that he doesn't have discard. I mean, I guess Colonnade technically could possibly, maybe buy me a turn. We'll see. All right. I'm a little surprised he's not just ramming up this layer of the Hydra and jamming it in. So I think his list is mostly just spent, honestly, it looks like most of it is on lands. Okay, so he can sacrifice one of these things to give it -X until the end of turn. But he has to tap them. Okay. Okay. So he must have something to just kill it. Yeah. I'm a little surprised he still kept those in. There's not going to be a ton of targets, but there's probably enough. I wonder if he just maybe didn't have enough to pull out anything. But yeah, that stinks. That's pretty lame start, honestly, because we didn't even get to do anything particularly cool. But, you know, the opponent had a good deck, had a good draw, played it well. Okay, so versus Jund Energy. Okay, so I have to say that this guy won 2-0. Yes. All right, well, good game, opponent. Hopefully you go on to do great things. Okay, let's take a peek at exactly what I'm running. Okay, so what I'm running is a Bant Reclamation. Despite the last time, and maybe I should have just listened to myself, despite the last time I was hesitant to add in a third color because of the inconsistencies in mana bases. And maybe I need to rebuild this mana base because maybe it's just not where it's at. So you guys tell me whether this mana base needs some work or not. But the big thing what I added is I added in 2 routes. So route is, if it will work for me, which it's currently not, which is just fantastic. All right, Moxfield. Okay, so route is a 5-mana sorcery, and I can cast it for 2 more to destroy all creatures, and they can't be regenerated. So it's like Wrath of God for it's 2 more, but I can cast it on the other person's turn for 7. And then, obviously, Wilderness Reclamation, the namesake of the deck. Go ahead and playing that to try to get out a big Hydroid Crisis and then hold up Counterspell. Maybe Memory Deluges, Swords to Plowshares, possibly Routes, anyway. So in the sideboard, I am running another Fumigate, some Rest in Peace, 2 more Routes, and then actually I'm playing, here's my spicy one in case I come into another control-y, grindy, maybe blue deck. Sphinx of the Final Word. Okay, so this spell can't be countered, and it has hexproof. It's a 5/5 flyer, and instants and sorceries can't be countered. So I feel like that's just kind of a nail in the coffin if I'm able to get a maybe match up, a mirror match or something like that. So just trying that out for fun. Overall, when the deck does its thing, it's very fun. In playtesting, I was there were at times where I wasn't super impressed with how it operated because it's clunky because I play so many tap lands. But I need like double white for route, but then I also kind of need green on turn 2 a lot of the time to run out my growth spiral or my planar genesis. So trying to be able to balance those two things was more difficult than what I wanted it to be. Okay, so now what can we do in the meantime? All right, so here I have to go and actually re-enter into my Discord here. So then, because apparently I have to rejoin the event. So then I'm going to kind of know once that is up. All right, so then we can just wait for the first round to end while we wait. And I know this is what you guys have been looking to do, because I know you guys are real big into it. Actually, nobody is. Well, actually, most of the people who are viewers of this channel are probably all my go-to people. We'll just hop into here and do some daily quests and stuff like that while we are waiting. Okay, so disappointing loss. I'm not sure. I waffled between green, black, and this. I think next week, if I get the opportunity, I will likely play green, black, or mono white, assuming that we continue to kind of lay stinkers like we just did. But if we don't, we maybe pop off, then maybe we'll reconsider. Who knows? Who knows? All right. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, Slix's Soul. None of the things to buy it. So let's go ahead and just do what we're supposed to be doing. Get those clan boss keys refreshing. Luckily, we already did the ones that take time earlier this morning. Apologize, but I haven't eaten yet tonight, so I'm trying to squeeze those in between when I'm able to. Okay. Get a bite to eat here, a bite to eat there. What are we looking like in Siege? Is there anybody I can... Am I able to beat this team? I'm definitely not going to be able to beat that team. Never beating in Torment with this account. All right. Should we give it a shot? Let's give it a shot. For all 5 people here, we are here for the Magic the Gathering series, but right now we lost 2-0 to Jund Energy. And so right now we are doing what my main account is kind of, or what my YouTube channel really mostly entails, which is Raid Shadow Legends. All right. So this is going to be, if they can beat me speed-wise, it's done, and that's a bad start. All right, we're going to get housed here. All right. What was this? Demon Lord Keys. so that was very much intentional, as we're just trying to get that mission done, and we already kind of put in our heavy lifting. Okay, let's see what we get here. All right, so I kind of wish there were open deck lists, though, because I'd be very curious on what that guy was on. Because I was kind of peeking around at... I'm just kind of curious about the list. Like, I kind of, a big deal of this format is where's everybody spending their money at? And so I'm just kind of curious where he's spending his money at. It kind of looks like it was mostly in his mana, which is an interesting take. If you can find nice commons and uncommons that are efficient and effective, and just using a mana base so you can play 3 might not be a terrible strategy, just like in general. Problem is that my deck, most of its mana is being taken up with what do you call it? Like counterspell, for example, is like over $1. So if we go back to the deck list and peek in at what we are trying to do, for example, you can see that we're spending $664 on counterspells, which, to be clear, though, that card's price has gone up quite a bit over the last few days. Like $440, I feel like is not bad, but I try to keep most cards at about $1 or so. But maybe this is just the fact that I'm spending that much money on 4 counterspells. Maybe just tells me that this deck choice isn't the best one. It's always a tough decision, especially in this format where it changes. It can change so volatilely, going from one deck one day to the next deck. You maybe have to tweak a card or two, given that the deck submissions are pretty much just set in stone like the day of. So let's see what we can do. I'd be curious to see what maybe some other people are on. So let's go ahead and pop in and see what we have here. Okay. Let's get through these ads, for crying out loud. I guess someday I'll be able to get ads, but, until then, this guy's probably not getting any. All right, so we have, Affinity. Interesting. Affinity versus like a mono black control. I'm very curious about how we could potentially match up with either of these decks. Furthermore, I'm curious about how mono white or green black would match up against either of these decks. Could be quite interesting. So I wonder how much cranial plating runs. You think he's affinities on cranial plating? It's tough to say. All I know is if I'm playing against mono black, I'm not sure I want to play against the Hymn to Torok Inquisition of Kozilek deck. We already went through that once. It seems like a pretty brutal matchup for us potentially. So if we can try to avoid stuff like that at all costs, maybe that's where it's at. But I'm sure Hymn to Torok probably isn't too expensive. Maybe even something as simple as Dark Ritual. Tough to say. All right. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a peek and see what we had for blue-green. See, the thing I liked about blue-green is I felt like it was much more straightforward. I felt like the mana base was kind of solid. We got to play an extra Uro. But obviously we get creatures on the board. We don't really have a whole lot of ways to interact with that besides just playing like Evacuation. And let's call it what it is. That's not necessarily the best answer to a bunch of different cards. I did playtest this against some humans decks over the last like week or so. And needless to say, it didn't do particularly good. Which was kind of why I decided to go towards playing some white in the deck rather than just blue and green. But the extra Uro, I guess, makes me slightly more proactive. And then I get an extra Vine Stock. But, you know, in game one, we had the planar Genesis to turbo us out, but we couldn't play it till turn 3 because we had to go tap land. And that's just too rough for us. So as opposed to... So this is what... either way, I put the time in to brew this up, so I think it's fine playing this. But to stay on the positive side of things, which is the way to do it, you know, we have a Death and Taxes, which is pretty well sorted out, and we have a Green-Black Delirium, which I think is also pretty well sorted out. So I put a lot of time into it. I think it's fine just to play it. But this is probably just... Maybe this is just better. I think I'm going to try, potentially, if I play this next time, Ritual of Soot instead of Culling Ritual. Just because it hits up to 3 mana. And only creatures, too. So here, when my Grists flip, this flip Grist, Culling Ritual kills that, where a Ritual of Soot does not. It does look like I went a little over budget. I'm trying to identify. It looks like these Grists went up a little bit in price, unfortunately. Because I think we were right at $5, so they went up a little bit. So, but the thing that's nice is, for whatever reason, these Hissing Quagmires are 70 cents a piece, which seems like kind of a lot. It's actually a pretty easy cut. Just cut a Hissing Quagmire, add in a forest, call it a day. You know, if I had to play this right now, you know, just do something like that. Boom, we're done. We can even put a Haunted Mire in there to keep our mana set. But the other decks is Death and Taxes. That's kind of the next thing I've been working on. I think if I had to play a tournament and my life depended on it, this is probably what I would do, just because it's the fastest and brings a ton of disruption also, which is nice. Alrighty. Okay, so looks like our second match is ready to go. So I am going to pull this up. And then I'm going to go. All right, and I have the correct deck. And so now what we have to do is switch this over. Nope, not to that one. Nope, not to that one. Oh my gosh. Here it is. Okay, so we won the die roll. Obviously a pretty big deal when it comes to the plane. Okay, let's start off with this. So this is a lot better hand than what we've had, because I can at least planar Genesis into ramp. So here I have no issue playing tap land on turn 1. But then not going into a Wilderness Reclamation is going to be kind of tough. But if I can hold up Archmage Charm, okay. Huh. I wonder what this guy's on with a tapped red-black artifact, or blue-red artifact land. Okay. So we can play our Vine Glimmer Snarl. Okay, and we'll just reveal this island, I suppose, and then we will pass. And we're going to see what this guy's up to. It's kind of, it's a pro and a con. It makes it hard to play with when you don't know exactly what somebody's on, where if you know, solve format, they play fetch, shock, watery grave, Thoughtseize, you know that they're on Grixis Death Shadow. I don't know if that's still a thing. It's probably not. But here, you know, they play a land and you just kind of up to it. Don't know what they're up to. Okay, so Ghost Quarter's interesting. All right, it's a saga. Read ahead. So you may cast an instant or sorcery spell with mana value 1 or 2 from your hand without paying its mana cost. Target player mills 4 cards and then exile insert a sorcery card from your graveyard. Copy it. Okay. So I wonder if they're just going to, just some sort of spell slinger. Try to play something huge. Target non becomes a 0/0 and put, oh, okay. So it's like, I can't think what it's called. In Soul Artifact kind of deck. I think we're going to take the land. Okay. So, hello. Hello, my friend. What do we have here? So I'm going to play the tap land. So now the question is, do I just steal that right now? What are the odds he's playing like counter spell or something like that? I think I'm gonna. He just used a lot of... Oh, it says non-land permanent. I thought it said creature. Okay. So that's fine, because then we can just hold up counter magic right here. We're going to take a little bit of damage, but if we don't see anything that we need to... Oh, it's a Grixis deck. All right. So a Grixis, like, in Soul Artifact. So if we don't see anything that we feel like we need to address right away... Okay, so then he just gets to ramp himself, or fix his coloring, rather. This guy's jumping through a lot of hoops to get the right colors. And this land is indestructible, so that's important to note. But luckily we play... Do I want to counter this? Because here's my thought process. We're going to play a route eventually, but the route doesn't interact with this land particularly good. I think I'm just going to try to delay the game a little bit. I'm going to cast this. I'm going to counter target spell. I think I am going to counter it and just try to hang on as long as we can. We'll take 4 if he wants to. Okay. So I'll probably just play this Colonnade. But then I think I cast Krasis for 2. It never feels good casting a Krasis for 2, but it's totally fine just kind of using it to draw through our deck, get a card, gain a life. We get a lot of lands. That's just part of the deck. That's something we have to live with. You play 25, you're going to draw a lot. Because really right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to push to Swords to Plowshares so we can get this thing out of the way. Okay, so what's he going to do? Probably just him to Torok, right? That just seems like... It says you may cast it, though. So it doesn't say... So I think he needs... Okay, so he's just trying to get real big with this thing. Okay. But to cast that, does he need blue mana? Because he doesn't get to cast it for free. Or is he just trying to go 2 of them? Two of them's probably safer than going real big. Okay. All right, welcome everybody who's decided to watch. We're playing Bant Reclamation. Got housed game 1, but this game at least feels a little bit better than what we originally had in the first game. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a good draw. Because that's going to block these Dragon Rage Channelers. I'm going to draw 2, gain 2. And then I just get to kind of, again, delay the game a little bit longer until I can draw into my good stuff. So I'll take that all day. Cast trigger's nice, so if you did ever have counter magic, okay, more Krasis, more fun. Okay, and then actually, you know, to point out the obvious, if we can get a Krasis bigger than 4/4, that seems like a positive. So can he cast this whenever? Yeah, I like the Hydroid Krasis too. The problem is just I feel like the mana is very, very wonky when you play three lands. And we saw that in the first game. So each player sacrifices a permanent of choice. Realistically, 2/2 Hydroid Krasis I don't feel like is doing a whole lot. So I'm probably going to get rid of the 2/2 Hydroid Krasis. Yeah, so it was a little bit awkward in the first matchup. Like, we just stumbled on our lands, and that's kind of the downfall to it. But we're still figuring out what's going to be best for our deck. I like the Hydroid Krasis. I like that we were able to fit Uro in. The route is still to be determined. I'm not particularly sure how good that card is right now. I think there's times where it could be great, being able to cast it on somebody else's turn. But what's nice is if you do happen to play another like controlling matchup, Krasis is a cast trigger, so you get those cards. Not every time, but almost no matter what. Okay. So I think now we are gonna have a little bit of a laggy MTGO. Do I just go and get a... Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if I go ahead and just pop off with a 5/5 Krasis to block these things. Because really what I'm trying to draw to, if I do that, I get a gain, a little bit of life. We can block here, block, and then we can kind of block indefinitely. I'm sure he has some sort of burn, but that's okay. We're just going to cast all the Krasi, right? Is that the plural Krasis? Somebody out there has to know. Okay, so we're just going to get a blocker out there. There's our Swords to Plowshares. There it is. All right. And then again, we just got to stay tight trying to think what the card is that deals 4 damage if they have so many artifacts. Okay. So we're going to get to kill 1 Dragon Rage Channeler. And then block here. Okay. Okay, and so then now we get a... Okay, I will play my Vine Stalk. Okay, so here now I can use my Planar Genesis as a impulse. I think I just pass here. No attacks. Actually, I probably should have attacked with the 4/4 since he's not doing jack right now. Just sitting back. Kind of being a bum. What has he ever done for me? Well, besides draw a couple cards and... let's go ahead. Swords to Plowshares 1. We do play 4 Swords to Plowshares. And then let's just go ahead and see what this Growth Spiral brings me. Because if it gets me another Swords, that could be... And then Planar Genesis we're not using to get land right now. Well, we almost only were using that to get land. We're going to say no to those 3 lands that are there. And then we are going to take a Memory Deluge. And we're going to put that card in my hand. And again, we'll just block. So maybe 5/5 Hydrate Crisis MVP, you know? I think I'm actually going to main phase this Deluge in hopes of hitting Reclamation. So we're hitting a Counterspell and a Planar Genesis. So I'll play Castle Vantress. And then I'll attack with the 4/4 Crisis. Start getting in there. Having a Counterspell right now seems pretty big time. This thing doesn't fly, does it? Nope. Okay, so let's go ahead and go green, blue, Planar Genesis. Come on, let's get me that Reclamation I've been looking for. Does he have counter magic? So let's see what we would have seen. 1, 2. It's not letting me actually draw the cards because it's laggy, probably because I'm streaming this, but that's okay. I'm gonna take a bite of my food, which is inevitably cold by now, but that's all right. Okay, let's begin sideboarding. Okay. Swords to Plowshares seems good. In all seriousness, I think I just run this back. They did play Young Pyromancer. So I'm contemplating just a 3rd route in exchange for maybe like the Archmage Charm. But Archmage Charm finds route. I think I'm just going to run this back. Wilt obviously does nothing because it's Destroy. Man, imagine Stone Raining them. For 2 mana. All right. Okay, what do we got here? So we have a Swords to Plowshares. So if they get an early Ensoul artifact. Then an Uro to keep us alive. Maybe we can get an Uro game. That'd be pretty cool. Okay. I almost played this because I'm worried. I don't know. Them ghost quartering me is so bad, but I don't have plains or forest in my deck. Don't tell the opponent that. Uh-oh. What are you doing? Oh, no. I want this to be a game, dude. Hopefully he draws a land here, because I really want this to be, like a competitive game and not a game where he just keeps Ghost Quarter and then dies. Alright. Sacrifice my Earl. Like, I kind of wonder if he even meant to keep it or not. If you just have... Or maybe it's, like, the nutty hand if he draws one land. Oh, dang, dude. Alright. Okay. And nothing to hold up. Classic. Okay. Maybe there's hope for the opponent. Okay. So I'm going to pop off with this Tameo. Alright, and I think I'm just going to try to find a counter spell. And so then this theoretically is going to set us up for an Uro next turn. And ride that to victory. But we're just not getting a lot of resistance from the opponent just because of his land situation. Okay. Ghost Quarter your own land. Fix your mana. So we'll just Memory Deluge. If we can counter this, I guess we just counter it. I am going to get a land also. Oops. And I was going to say, I don't know if that's going to just force a concession from the opponent or not. Hopefully not. Alright, so here, blue, blue, green, green. Earl. When I originally made the art for the thumbnail on this, I had Earl, but it's so awkward. The art on it, like, kind of looks cool on the card, but if you just, like, do a thumbnail of only it, it's real awkward looking. Alright. And now we're off to the races. I wonder what he has. Because even if he had the tapped artifact land, I'm not sure he would have been able to play anything on turn 2. Recast. I have never seen that card in my life. Okay, cool. I didn't activate my Tameo, nor is there a particular reason to, I think. Alright, let's just use all of our mana here. And then what we'll do is we'll find 2 cards. Let's call a Hydroid Crisis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I don't particularly need a land, so I guess I can grab another route just in case something goes way wild. This might force a concession. Maybe not. Maybe it did. Okay. Okay, folks. I am going to take a moment. I'm going to use the restroom, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, we're back. Feels good to get in the win category, I suppose. Didn't feel good beating an opponent in the second game where they just didn't draw any lands. Maybe a bit of a suspicious keep, but that's all right. They can make their decisions how they want, and they probably saw some potential there. So, we actually had a little bit of a showing where the deck could do what it wanted. Unimposed with a lower threat. But game one, I mean, it showed that we had some versatility to fight through some stuff. Right now, though, from what I'm playing, I get the feeling that black-green is stronger than this deck. Now, once it gets going, the Bant Reclamation deck is pretty solid, but it's a big if. It's got to get going, you know? All right. Okay. We got here, we'll pick an Arbiter. So again, for those who are watching, maybe never played before, this is Raid Shadow Legends. This is a live arena fight. So there's like modes where you kind of auto through the game. It's like a gacha game. But this is one of the modes that you kind of fight manually. Fights can take a little bit long. Requires a lot of kind of knowledge of like what the different champions do realistically. But I'm playing a challenge account, which is like only void champions, which is the purple. Now my guess is if you're here watching Magic, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But regardless, okay, so this guy is super busted, so we're gonna ban him. But I don't like +4 empowered Soul Drinker. Bomb me out of the game. So one of our dailies is win one of these fights, which is super annoying that it can't be just play in one of these fights. All right, we should go first. So we'll increase speed our team and decrease speed their team. And then we'll just try to kill this guy here. Okay, we'll try to freeze everybody. This team's kind of tanky. Okay, and then make him go again. I guess steal this guy's turn meter. No, I shouldn't have done that. So, okay. Alright, we have to try to kill this guy before those bombs murder me. Let's see how impactful they are. Alright. Man, we might lose this. Ugh. Dang it, dude. That Soul Drinker. Alright, let's try again. All right. All right. Level 69 versus 73. Like our odds. Also, nice level, dude. All right. We're going to draft the same champions. When you get to the higher levels, like in an account that doesn't have restrictions like this, if I pick a champion, like if I were to pick this champion's name is Arbiter, the opponent can't pick an Arbiter. It's like once it's picked, the other person is banned from it, so it creates a good little back and forth. So like if I was in the gold tier, I'm only in the silver tier, I would not be able to pick this Arbiter because they already picked one. But in the lower levels, it's hard to get champions, so they just kind of let you kind of do whatever you want. So they're trying to go fast, huh? If they're trying to go fast, I kind of like my odds having 2 speed leads. Ooh. And then Athlon, because he... So I am going to... And then I ban one of their champions. I'm going to ban their Arbiter, just like they did with mine, because she's really fast and can revive. Keeps your other team going fast. Alright, so we'll increase speed our team, decrease speed their team. I think we need a team attack this guy, because he puts out block damage. Yeah, this one's in the books, dude. You're cooked. Alright, let's go. So I need to kill a faction war boss, hopefully. Perfect. So we're going to do that one time. Okay, let's find... What do we got going on here? Okay, let's find this. All right, ready, folks? Here's another deck I've been brewing. And if you want to talk about awkward mana bases, I got the king of that right now. I did play a little bit of this with a friend, and I'm still completely sorting it out. But when I was more of a modern player at one point, I had played against some mono or Mardu Pyromancer decks. And so I'm like, oh, I could put together something like that. It's probably pretty cheap. Swords, Plowshares, Lightning Bolt. Smiting Helix is kind of a cool card. So this is my next brew. It's far from established. I tried some of these Planeswalkers, and honestly, the Sorin was not super desirable. I don't think that's necessarily a card I want to play. Anybody have any ideas for this? Like Lingering Souls, I mean, that's just a cool card. But then we play like Faithless Looting, so we can draw 2, but then our discard 2's backlash really isn't as extreme. Because then what we get to do is we get to, obviously, discard cards with flashback, and then get value from it from the graveyard. So we're just always gaining value that way. And then actually I found this card. This card is pretty cool. It's a man land for this deck, and it's when it attacks, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you control. So, like, you can put it on itself. Or you can put it on something else. Maybe this deck is just better with, like, 2 Chandra, Torch of Defiance. It's just a Chandra deck. It's kind of some top end. I do have a Phyrexian Arena. I figure the life loss shouldn't be a big deal, because between Smiting Helix and Smiting Helix, that should give me enough life to keep me going. Man, maybe I'm just bad at building mana bases, though. You know, something like this. You know, we play that, pass turn. Yeah, we go like this. Yeah, I don't know. I spend a lot of time doing stuff like this, just kind of mulliganing, or what do you call it? Just seeing what a deck or a hand might turn into. Alright. Looks like... I wonder what game they're in. This is the guy that, like, is one of the guys that's a moderator of the Discord, I believe. Okay. Okay, so it looks like he's playing against a humans deck, maybe? Or no, he's watching somebody play a humans deck. Yikes, I don't want to deal. I'm telling you, some version of humans is the best deck in this format. I think hands down. I played a friend who put together 5 colors. It seemed really strong because you get to play Secluded, Courtyard, and some other 5-color unclaimed territory. Super busted. And then like when you play a deck like this, Sanctifier and Vec is just the house. I can't remember what this card is right here, but I remember that that card being super good. Okay, this seems like a pretty good card, but it's only going to kill a couple. Man, and he's at 1. Oh, this is the guy that we played last round. The guy who's at 1. Sorry, I'm just kind of reading the comments in this section. They're just talking about 2 3-color land decks playing Alara tri-lands. I'll tell you, like, those tri-lands haven't been bad, but at the same time, they're clunky, man. They're clunky. They're definitely, I mean, it's definitely, I wouldn't call it a strength. I'd call it a weakness of the deck. It's not like, wow, look how strong these lands are. You're playing these tri-lands. I'd be like, it's more like, hey, these lands are actually super clunky. I mean, I think, although there is some power in these 3-color decks, just by the card selection, I think that 2 colors probably needs to be your max. It's just so awkward. I'm still going to keep playing with this, like this Pyromancer deck or that Bant deck as try to sort it out, but it's a little ways off. What I need to do is I need to find a way to beat humans with this green-black Delirium deck. Because I think if I can somehow find a card or two that just like helps me with that, but isn't so narrow that it does nothing in other matchups, I think that could be good. All right. Okay, so he's going to play Path to Exile here. Okay, dang it. All right, that's all right. So, I mean, Ritual and Suit, that's got to be most humans. It doesn't kill the big 5, like 4-mana ones. There's a couple in the 5-color list that run this. So, food for thought, I guess. All right. So that's what I was going to play last week, this list. I think this is the exact list. No, except for 2 lands where I had a Hissing Quagmire and a Haunted Mire. So instead of 4 Haunted Mire, it was 3. And instead of 1 Hissing Quagmire, it was 1. I think there's another green-black man land out there somewhere. These like restless lands or whatever you want to call them. Okay, let's pull up MTGO and see if they're still in. I kind of want to watch that humans matchup, if I'm being honest, even if I can't see what exactly. All right. Okay, let's do this. Let's see what they're up to. So they got a 9/9 Thalia that can't attack or block and just got killed, or 7 damage dealt to it with man, maybe this Jund deck can grind. What's this card do? Proliferate. Okay. This extractant specialist was the card I was talking about. I think could go mono white humans. Return target creature or card with mana value 2 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. That creature can't attack or block as long as you control extraction specialist. But, you know, think about like a Thalia's Lieutenant. Just bring that into the battlefield and, you know, put a +1/+1 on your whole team. Or a Thalia even. The creature with ward that gives all my humans +1/+0. I mean, that could. I think this card's just good, just in general. All right. Man, he's just gonna gain so much life. Lose Sanctifier. Dude, Sanctifier from Vec might be one of the best cards in the entire format. Does so much. Now, it's not doing a ton here, but it's going to get by 3 of his blockers. Not that I think he needs a ton of help with that because the energy deck is tapped out or empty-handed. And then just attacking here. He's going to be able to get in with a layer, block a layer to the 4/3. Because I think he's trying to keep back the Blood Harvester. What's that? Ampter isn't doing much. How much does it cost to activate this? Because I thought this should be 3. Oh, it's... Okay. X and a green. Just jumping. It's not a good place to be. Alright, he's going to need to draw something good. So the Spell Bomb could be good at times like that. That's going to kill a Sanctifier. And then he'll get to play it again. He's got a Lurrus. Why is he not... Just gain a little life back. Because that Thalia's Lieutenant can't block. Second layer. Play a Spell Bomb, pass, right? This humans player should be able to just grind him down, even if they're both empty-handed. Did he play something from his graveyard already, or is Lurrus like creature only? Now it's permanent. Yeah, just go on in. So what's he going to pick here? Thalia's Lieutenant, right? And then if he picks Thalia's Lieutenant, it re-enters the battlefield and then gets its trigger again, and then it can start attacking and blocking. That's a pretty neat interaction, actually. So everything's just a bit bigger. I mean, kudos to the Jund deck for letting it get to this point, you know what I mean? Like, it's a grind and hard. But it just shows the power of humans. Now that's actually pretty good. That's nerfing him a ton. And he's going to get a gain 4 more life, but the thing is the crackback is just way bigger than the... I wonder how many ignoble hierarchs he plays. They're like $1 a piece. And his Llanowar Wastes are $1 a piece. His Twilight Mire's $1 a piece. I don't know what layer the Hydra runs. $0.19, so that's a pretty cheap card. I mean, just any human's a good top deck. I wonder if he plays something like a Palace Jailer or something like that. He's got a chomp somewhere. Raptor, your time to shine, dude. Oh, he's just gonna eat it? Why not, I guess. Don't use that Llanowar Waste. Amp Raptor, 19 cents. That's a really powerful card for how cheap it is. I'm a little surprised he doesn't just trade with the Amped Raptor and then... Or just chump with the Amped Raptor every time, because then he gets to cast a card basically for free every turn, right? Yeah, just keep sending it in. We're in quite the stalemate here. But I guess also with the Blood Tide Harvester, he also kind of gets to draw a card in a way. Like, he gets to rummage or whatever it's called. Wonder if he's just playing to the clock. Get in for one. You know what I mean? You're at 52. Not for long. I hit you. Actually, this Jund deck's kind of got him in a bit of a bind. As long as that Luris is out there, he just really can't do much. Humans needs like a Palace Jailer, Fiend Hunter type of card. There it is. See you, Luris. Now, unfortunately, that Pyrite Spellbomb's going to hit one of them. So, does he now just sit back? I'm not sure he can afford to do that, though. Because he's got a chump. I mean, he's got enough creatures to attack anyway. He's got three. No, he doesn't. So this guy's going to get the Monarch back if he wants it. Because between Amped Raptor, Harvester, and having a Spell Bomb, I think you got to kill the Jailer. Or the Thalia's Lieutenant makes plenty of sense too. Actually, it makes more sense. Don't listen to me. Just the pure life that this guy's at. I don't know how. I'm not sure the Jund player can kill the other guy, but I also don't think he can win. Yeah, this game is kind of crazy. It's kind of fun not seeing what they draw. Yeah, I don't think the humans player like, what can you draw at this point that's any good? I guess another extraction, whatever its guy, could be big. But what are you getting that's 2 mana that's gonna be of any significance? I know. Kind of kudos to him just sticking at 1 life. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. That's a big draw, actually. Now, that's going to get spellbombed eventually. Or Blood Tithe Harvester. Man, Lurrus is crazy good. This guy straight just needs Path to Exile. Or Swords of Plowshares. This is making me wish I would have played humans. It looks fun. It really is. Because then that's getting rid of the Sanctifier, too. He just gets so much value out of every card. This Jund deck is interesting. I'm intrigued by it. I kind of wonder if Black-Red is just... I don't know. I mean, Ignorable Hierarch's kind of a pretty powerful card. I think the win at this point is just run them out of the clock if you're humans. You just keep attacking for 9, let him attack you for 6, just go back and forth forever. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At some point, he might be able to get a land that's big enough. Absolutely, getting around the Sanctifier protection's huge. When I played in one of these, like, in November, like before Thanksgiving, I played Mono White Humans, and Sanctifier and Vec was just... Sometimes it was literally cast it, and then I might not win that moment, but they were just straight. Couldn't do anything. So it's pretty powerful. I think Jonda, though, is going to lose here just because they're behind in the clock. Humans just play their card, attack, play their card, attack. Just do that every turn, and I don't think the opponent can kill him in time. He might actually just straight deck himself, too. But he's at 41. If you gave him enough time, he'd probably get there. Kite Sail. It's coming in inbound. Oh. You don't control get +1, -1, -1. That's going to kill a bunch of Hierarchs and an Amped Raptor. Uh-oh. That card's nutty, dude. Holy cow. I don't know what Haunt is, though. Reflector Mage? If this is Reflector Mage, that's game. Oh, no. Wow. That Pontiff was huge. What a game, dude. That was fun to watch. I'm glad we jumped in there. Should have done that more often. What a game. What a game. Dang, that makes me want to play both of those decks. Yeah. All right. I think we should be queuing up for round 3 here soon. I genuinely, this is the... I really like playing Constructed in general, and this format is good. I don't really have much of a play group here where I live. So I've just tried to find it online. I have a friend that I play with fairly regularly online, but it's kind of nice because you can build like 4 decks online for like $10. So I think the only thing that really cost me any real money building the decks online was Mishra's Baubles. Those things are kind of stupid expensive online, but $5 to $6 or something like that. Oh shoot, I am probably... let's pull up, yeah, let's pull up this. So that's what I played last week. I'm just waiting for the round to end. I think there's only 3 rounds tonight. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's 4. No, it is 4. I can't remember. I'll probably just play it out. I got nothing better to do. Well, I do have better things I could be probably doing, but... Alright. I need Christopher Watson, but I think Christopher is the one who makes the game match for me. So we'll be going here very soon. I have played Amos before, and I am in Bant. All right. Okay, give me a second here, folks. I will get the game up. Almost went without it. All right, so here we are live, ready to go. So I have a lot of counter magic. This looks like a blue-white control. I have no green, but I don't have any green spells either. A lot of counter magic, though. I'm going to keep this, see if I can just delay the game a little bit. Just hope he doesn't come out on fire. A non-basic land, so he can choose... He can choose my Castle Vantress or my Colonnade. That is wacky, dude. What the heck? This must be a Pox deck, right? I've never seen that card in my life. That's crazy. Not a good start. I was kind of leaning on that Colonnade, though. Because now that takes me off white. He probably thinks I'm on blue-white control, though. On the bright side, though, if we can get some lands out... Oh, boy. Mono black LD, dude. That is, like, not a good matchup here. Good thing we play a lot of lands, though. So this match could be way different had we been on the play. Okay. Wonder how he wins. If I could draw a land here. Okay. All right, we're in it. We're in it to win it now. Okay. So now we get a whole counter spell up the whole game. Give me one more land. Give me one more land. So I can start casting my Archmage's Charms. So I suppose I put Uro in the graveyard, do I not? Makes the most sense to me. Alright. If you're Bant Reclamation, you do not like being down 2 lands to 6. On the bright side, of the 47 cards left in the deck, 21 of them are lands. You choose a non-basic land card. I don't have any lands. So now he just knows what I'm working with, okay. Just give me a land, dude. Give me a land. There it is. That's actually a pretty solid one, too, because now I'm double white, double green. I'm set for the rest of the game. Give me another land. Alright. I think I'm going to pass this route off to the graveyard. Yeah, we can't be having that. And he's probably got something big here. Like a big bomb delay, but then I got... Dang it, dude. Discard-wise, I kind of want to keep the Swords to Plowshares if I'm being completely real with you. Because he's probably got, like, one threat. And if I can Swords it... I shouldn't say one threat, but he's probably got, like, a man land. Alright. On the bright side, I got a full grip, and he does not. Alright, there it is. Boom. This is going to be a grind. I'm not looking forward to this. Okay, we're going to draw 2 cards. Okay. Alright, now I can double spell. Sure. See ya. All right. I wasn't feeling good about this at first, but now I'm feeling okay about it. If I get one more land and go big Hydroid Creases, what I really need is my Reclamation. If I get Wilderness Reclamation, this game is kind of over. So we're going to cast a big Crisis. A big enough Crisis. Okay. Fine. Because now, so that just keeps getting lands in my hand. He can start Stone Raining me all he wants. He's just got to find a way to kill me. It's alright. Because we're going to cast Uro next turn. One, two, three, 4, 5. Alright, you know what we're on the hunt for. If we can find... The question is if he can kill my Uro... Do I protect it? I mean, I just gotta let him take those cards. I don't know what he's trying to push through. If it's a creature, Swords to Plowshares might be good. This should be good enough. Is this a bait spell? I'm gonna try to save it. Okay, that's fine. We saved a land at least. Okay. Yeah, if we get our land drops, it should be tough for him. Okay, I guess Blossoming Column seems pretty good. So does a couple Spell Pierces. I don't know if I need to bring in a whole bunch. I am gonna keep a couple Swords to Plowshares in and a Route in because I don't know what he's gonna try to pivot to. So just hedging my bets a little bit here. Archimage Charm wasn't bad, but I think I can go without it. So just a small little sideboard, a little bit of 1 mana interaction. Because it gives me... Wait. Yeah, no. I think that's fine. Alright, let's not get stone rained out of the game here. Dang, dude. That card is kind of brutal. It's not even kind of. It's like totally brutal. I've never heard of this card before in my life. Oh, he took the Vine Glimmer. Okay. Well, obviously he has. So we just have to hope that we can get to our second land drop and counterspell some stuff. So I kind of wonder if he's just like trying to destroy all your lands and then just hope that the opponent scoops. Like that's the win con. The win con is you're having not enough fun. Yeah, I've never seen it either. It's a wild card. Alright, he's probably grabbing counterspell. Okay, so no, he must have something. And really doesn't like the Swords to Plowshares. So I wonder how he wins. Maybe I needed to bring that card in after all. Oh, that's a heck of a draw. Because if he doesn't play anything worth just Genesis and... I think I'm just going to cast the Genesis. Of course. Of course. That's actually not terrible. Because then it gets 4 non-lands off the top of my... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would love it. If you're playing this deck that Encroach seems pretty good. Okay. All right. I'm going to do the same thing because I do not want to get got. I just need lands. So we'll get another Seaside Citadel. Just to make it harder for him to cut us off a color. Uro is not a very good discard. But I guess you got to do what you got to do, you know? Okay, he did pick Uro. I wonder... Well, he's got Cling to Dust. That's the thing, right? How much does that cost? 4. Okay, this sucks that I can't cast my Wilderness Reclamation because I don't want to get Cling to Dusted. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a moment in time. And I'm going to cast my Uro now. Make him have... I mean, he probably has something to kill it based on the way he's playing. But that's alright. We gain a little life. Get a guy out there. And then next turn we can start Wilderness Reclamationing. Assuming that we have 4 lands. Ooh, Exile. Alright, here we go. So now we doubled our mana. We can cast Growth Spirals and such. Blue-green. And then I can cast the same thing for a blue and a green. Alright, I think we just try to get a Krasis now at this point. And the thing that's nice is we put this Hydroid Krasis in our hand now, and we can't have it discarded. Spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to discard cards or sacrifice permanents. And then we'll untap. I love the art on this swamp. Okay. Okay, I am going to get a counterspell out of my graveyard. And then I'm going to cast a big Crisis. 6, 7, 8. Untap my lands. Alright. I guess Blossoming Calm. Oh no, dude. Oh no. He's about to find out. Okay. That stinks for him. But it is what it is. At first I thought this might have been a terrible matchup, but he is slow enough that, yeah. Yeah. His deck is slow enough that I can just rebuild my mana because I play so many lands. So it's a good game. His deck is very interesting. I could see, I don't know what the card is, but he needs a way to, like, I don't know, just have some way to have a clock. Like, that's tough to interact with. I'm not sure what that is, though. All right. Let's see what is a brewing out there. So we are looking for who was playing. So who ended up winning? Humans? Yeah, it's kind of like an 8-rack, but the problem is like you have a lot of cards in your hand because you can't play any of them. Okay, let's peek at, was it Napalm? Who's playing humans? I don't remember. Okay, Castle Ardenvale. So there's only one more round. Ooh, search for Azcanta. Okay, I need to look that card up because I actually wanted to play that in my Reclamation deck at one point, and I remember thinking, oh, that's too expensive. $1.93. Could be worse. Could be worse. The best part about this format, though, is that you just get to brew whatever you want, and then sometimes it sucks, you know. So this guy might be playing Bant Reclamation himself. Against a blue-white. Boomerang. That's brutal. Oh, am I not? I'm not projecting this. Sorry. Amateur hour. You ever see a boomerang get Test of Talented? So this looks like control on control. I'm actually a little bit... I really want to watch this human stack play because I'm very intrigued by it. Is it... I don't remember. Let's see if I pull this up on a different one. Got a Dark Depth stack against High Tide. That's a matchup. Yeah, so we got two Bant Reclamation decks out there. Mia being one of them, of course. I wonder if the humans matchup is already done. That's why I can't find it. What does that card do? Each player shuffles his or her hand into the library and then draws 7 cards. Oh, with a Narset? Oh, wow. This deck is kind of brutal. I'm not sure I want to play against this blue-white deck if I'm going to be completely honest. I wonder what a Days Undoing runs. $1.15. Right.
At DePaco, your health and happiness are as important to us as your financial well-being. So when you're ready to take the first step, we'll help you make a plan and transform it into a lifelong commitment. Our tools make it easy to achieve your goals. In 2023, DePaco members made more than 184,000 automatic transfers to savings accounts. Well-being is the key.
I get the feeling this could go a while, but obviously the blue-white player has such an advantage from Narset Day's Undoing, but it looks like Narset's about to come off the board. Managed to get through there. I actually kind of don't hate the Castle Ardenvale in this matchup, or in this matchup specifically, but in the Bant Reclamation, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you can potentially get a couple humans per turn. I mean, it's to some extent, one could argue it's better than that Castle Ardenvale. It's just having a land, in my deck at least, that taps for 1 blue is not good at all. It's super, super rough. Okay. Alright, we are on Ardenvale aggro. Get in there, dude. Dude, these arts are sick. These are Foundations? Foundations has full art lands? I did, in the mail, get... Dude, these lands are sick. Okay, we'll be back to this in a second. Look at these lands. That is gnarly. That looks way cool. They're pretty cheap. That is a sick Plains, dude. Oh my gosh. I've never seen these before. This is you're seeing my first reaction. Oh, there's more than one for each. Yeah, I like that a lot. Swamp is okay. It's cool that it's got like characters like that's Tiny Bones. This is gonna be a Liliana. This is a dope swamp. That's a dope swamp. I need to go and get me some of those. All right, let's go back to this game. Let's see what's going on here. All right, so ventured into the dungeon. No, this is not venture into the dungeon. It's initiative, which is like similar, right? I wonder who won game 1. I wonder how fast this guy could turn the corner. I'm curious whether how much longer this round's gonna go. Because if somehow Bant can come and turn the corner, but I mean just on 1 card, how much can you really do, you know? Scry too. Yeah, I guess scrying makes more sense because like Ardenvale is just keeping you alive. It's not necessarily at the beginning of each untap a creature you control if you've completed a dungeon. All creatures. Wow. Opponent would draw a card except for the first one, and then Hull Breacher is no bueno for the Bant Reclamation deck. I would imagine. Whenever you take the initiative and at the beginning of your upkeep, venture into the Undercity. So trap. Target opponent, yeah. Dang. That ends the game fast, I guess. Yep, gotta make a token. Bring it back. The Magic Foundations art. Not really. We'll go back into here. We'll pull up my deck here. Then I'm going to peek myself into the players meeting thing, so I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back for the last match. We are 2-1. Done some good things, done some bad things. Let's just see if we can end with a winning record. Actually, I think when it's all kind of come down to it, my 2 tournaments not lost a ton, so I'd like to keep that going. Nice little personal record, get yourself feeling good. Okay, no way to ramp myself. And he's got a Luris deck. So I think I'll just keep and try to live off the strength of Swords to Plowshares. Hard to Luris a creature back if you got it exiled. Okay, what do we got here for a land? Soul Ring. What a start, dude. Reveal. So he must have revealed something. Given that I'm not ramping into anything definitively, there's no point in me showboating something because it's going to delay me a turn on my Reclamation, so I might as well just get it out there. What a sick Soul Ring. So I'm assuming this is just like black-red energy. It might be Junt too. Okay. Alright. Inquisition. Okay, well, he's going to take a Swords to Plowshares. He's going to get to see that I got 2 Wilderness Reclamations in my hand. Is he gonna go after the other one? Again, might as well play it while the getting's good. All right. So no mana acceleration into this. Might be the death of me the 2 times I've played energy. Black-red energy is probably or black-red variant energy is probably the most common color I've played against. Okay, I could use a real big draw here. Something that, like counterspell, something that's going to keep me going. All right. Don't hit both lands. Don't hit both wrecks. One of each is fine. Actually, one of each is probably the ideal. Probably put a Luris in his hand. Okay, cool. All right, let's play out our Wilderness Reclamation. And then have nothing to cast. I mean, I guess that's all right. I feel like if I have to, I really want to try to save this Swords for that Luris. I'm not trying to play a Luris game here, because that seems like real bad news bears for me. So we can take 2. Chunks of 2 isn't going to hurt us too bad. Is this a Dark Depths deck? Because that's what that is screaming to me, is Dark Depths. Come on now. There's so many... He knows that I have this. There's so many cards that can get us going. And Port Town is not one of them. Yeah, eventually I'm going to have to deal with this at some point, but next turn I'm going to have Restless Vinestock on tap. He's got a full grip, though. He's just kind of slow rolling me. But if he's slow rolling me, that's just his biding me time. Yeah, I know. What else you playing Hex Mage for? So it's like a hybrid Dark Depths / Amped. So he's killing his own guy? Or is he just trying to get energy? Alright. Maybe I'm a little suspicious. I'm not sure what that would be all about. Okay, so he's just going to try to get extra value by playing a second Raptor. Okay. So we're going to let this Raptor go on the stack. We're going to see what it's going to do. This Luris is getting swords for sure. What did he get? Oh, that's all right. Okay. Here. Not the best play. I kind of misclicked there. All right, Earl's not a bad draw because I'm definitely needing some action, and we'll put a land onto the battlefield. I think we'll Swords to Plowshares this. And actually, I think I'm just going to go ahead and use all my mana here and untap so I have that Restless Vinestock. Okay, and then next turn we should be able to just straight cast Earl. All right. On the downfall, though, is if he has the Dark Depths, I'm kind of cooked. He must have another discharge. Yeah, he definitely does. Oh, maybe not. What am I more scared of? I guess the Hex Mage. Okay, so Lightning Bolt. Alright, and then that first strike. That sucks. They're both first strikers. That's bonkers, dude. It's way too overpowered. Ooh, and then also a Nightmare deck. Wow. Okay. We do have some tools to deal with this. So we're going to have to bring in a variety of different cards. Well, I think this is straight up just better, right? And I don't have double green anyway, so I think I just got to cast my guy. And he'll Hex Mage and kill it. But that's alright, I got to draw cards and gain life. We're getting all the white mana. Remember when I talked a moment in the previous games about the mana being real wonky in this deck? You're seeing it in live action. Okay, so he can... Yeah, he can hit my permanents with this too. So if he wants to just kill these two off, that's fine, I guess. I wonder if he sees that or if he just doesn't want to do it. I think this is an interesting take on energy, though. I like having the Nightmare. That seems like a good card. Okay. We'll take that. Especially when I draw a Castle Vantress. Okay. Okay. What do I do here? I think I'm going to protect... This Hex Mage can also just get this guy here. So I have two options. I can just grab a swords, play it safe. He can't discard me while Tamiyo's in play. I also need another green mana, but I'm going to try to get that with my Scry. I'm going to try to get I think I'm going to get a swords back. And then I'm going to float a bunch of blue mana. Oop. Now I have to do that a little bit earlier than what I wanted to. Okay. I'm not going to attack. Okay, so we're going to float some blue. And then we're just going to Scry 2 right now. Man, that stinks. I really do actually kind of want that counter spell. But I think I got to put it on the bottom. I need a second green so I can get an Uro out. Okay. Playing the swamp's a good start for me. I'm going to save my Tamiyo here. And then he's going to probably pop his... I think he can just kill this Tamiyo, can you not? Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, I need that actually. What do I want? Of all the cards that I can get, I think I want Counterspell the most. Memory Deluge is a close second. Okay. Okay, cool. Good win. Good win. Okay, here's the real question. I have these Rest in Peace. I've been thinking about this kind of tonight, periodically. Man, they can be good here. But how big would they be? Like, we worked through that Nightmare pretty well. I think I got to bring in one or two Misers of. But then I think I can bring these Wilts in without really worrying myself too much because they cycle. But man, there's a lot of anti-synergy with Rest in Peace and Uro. I just never know what to take out. I'm so bad at sideboarding. I should have put more thought into what I'm doing. I did kind of give myself some ideas of some things I could do. So maybe I take this Archmage Chant. Because this isn't like an all-in Rest in Peace deck. Or all-in Graveyard deck, I feel like. But it's definitely going to have some synergies with that. I think I want to keep the swords in. I think swords are good. Maybe I just do this. Just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So if I need to dig and find it, I have the cards to do that. And I take out one root. Yeah, I think that's fine. We don't have to get crazy with it. And maybe I want more roots post-board because he maybe gets a little bit more aggressive. But I didn't see a whole lot that I felt like he'd be aggressive. This one we have to mulligan. There's just... I got too many green cards in my hand. And again, we're running into that same deal. We're going to keep it, I guess. Tameo or Krasis? I'm going to get rid of Krasis. I know there's 4 Krasis out there. There's only a couple. See? That's why I got rid of it. Alright, I need to hit a land. Specifically a green land ASAP. Vine Snarl would be huge. Don't hit a land. F. Yeah, I might lose. That sucks. On the bright side, we can dig ourselves out of getting stone rained if their clock is slow, and we are able to hit a green. We play a good amount, but not too many. A fair amount, one might say. Okay. 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 Dude, this is gonna stink. This isn't fun. You played 25 lands your first 2. I mean, I shouldn't have kept a 2-lander, I guess, but obviously getting him to Torok is just kind of random, I guess, but live and learn, you know what I mean? Live and learn. Obviously, our odds on the play are going to be a lot better than on the draw. If I don't draw a land here, I'm just going to concede. It's not game 3. Like, how am I... I mean, I guess... Does he have a way to... I mean, he's just going to have 3 unstable amulets. Yeah, that's dumb. We weren't going to win that game either way, though, because we weren't going to draw our lands. Okay, seeing all the unstable amulets does make me want... I kind of forgot about that. Does kind of make me want another Wilt. And I maybe just trim a counter spell, so... Well, give me a good draw. We haven't had like a really nutty turn 3 Wilderness Reclamation, and it doesn't look like we're going to get one either. And I'm not going to be able to hold this counter spell up. And again, we just keep running into the same thing that we've ran into all night, and that is if you play 3 colors, your mana base is whack. On the bright side, I know I'm hitting my second land drop, even if he... But did I learn my lesson from last time? I think I'm mulligan. Alright, this is how it goes down, I guess. Okay, what can we ditch here? I think I'm gonna have to ditch this Rest in Peace. Oh, no, can I undo that? So I can't undo that. Okay, cancel. Okay, Rest in Peace is gone. I have to get rid of another card. I really want to keep this Deluge, but I can't. I'm just going to have to hope to get into one. Perfect. Okay, we should be able to get a reclamation in turn 3. Unstable. What do we got here? Put a counter on attacking creature, gain trample. Whenever you discard one or more cards, you may exile the top card of your library. You may... Okay, that's a strong card. Very strong card. Alright. On the bright side, we do have some cards that can draw us into some other cards here, so I kept a route in. Obviously, I have Path to Exile, or Swords to Plowshares, rather. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Putting Luris in his hand. Let's go second Planar Genesis. I think I'll just grab this Restless Vine stock so we possibly have something to block. Alright, whatever he's doing, we're countering it. But this is a fast clock here. At least we got double green, so if we can get something in the graveyard from us... Wow, double Dark Depths hand. I actually need one more. I actually really desperately need two more cards now in my graveyard. Alright, so we're going to be able to trade Vine Stocks and Deuter. I know he functionally gets to play a spell off the top when he does this, but man, he's still got a lot of cards in hand, right? Okay. So I'm going to have to trade off one of my lands here. And then I should be able to cast Uro next turn. Okay. That's a win for me. Unless he has the same thing. That's alright, that's alright. At least it's smaller. It starts small. And we're going to be able to put an Uro into play. Okay, cool. Alright, I think we just cast one from our graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty. Draw a card. Tamiyo's not bad. Not half bad. Too bad there's nothing in my graveyard right now, but it's gonna start digging me to stuff I want. Okay. And Earl gaining me a little bit of life is no joke either. I think I'm attacking right into him too. Gaining life, drawn cards. How could I not? It kind of depends what I draw. And if he had a kill spell, he would have killed my Uro so he could attack. So I'm pretty confident that is something he doesn't have. Alright, let's play Tamiyo. I'm gonna just say swords to plowshares. Perfect. Then I could pick that Krasis up next turn. And then I am going to attack. And then if I have a swords, if he can bump a guy up. Yep. So I should be able to adequately protect my Tamiyo now. And furthermore, be able to play some spells. Think I'm digging my way out of it right now, folks. Well, I shouldn't have even let him attack, but that's okay. I mean, he's going faces the place right now, huh? Yeah, I kind of messed up by not, what do you call it? By letting him attack. I'm not going to let two mistakes become one. I am just going to swords this guy. I should have obviously done that before. Oh well. Live and figure it out. I kind of wonder if he's short on other colors. Like red. And then hopefully I can bring a Hydrate Krasis back here. I wonder if you recognize that the Hex Mage can go here. Okay, no, he can make a big boy. Okay, so then here's what we do. Okay. Never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we try to get him to pop that Dark Depths right now on our turn. Is he going to have a way to get his Dark Depths? And I think I was going to do Krasis at first, but I've changed my mind. Because I'm worried about him somehow having a way to kill my Reclamation. I tap out for Krasis and then... I think it's unlikely, but that's my concern. Okay, cheer an Uro to keep. I'm going to keep this one. And then I am going to return a Krasis for next turn. So I am projecting pretty hard that I have a Swords to Plowshares, but whatever. If I went and brought one back, he would have known that I have one. Puts him back ahead on life, but that's not the game I'm concerned about right now. Okay, does nothing. Second opponent that's about to learn. Yeah. And I want to keep my... Do I want to keep my Tammy alive? I do. Because I currently have one in my hand. But I want to cast my Krasis next turn real bad. Yeah. Okay. I feel like we navigated that fairly well. We had a pretty... we started on 5. And he had a halfway decent start with the Inti. But overall, hey, good games. Good games to all opponents. Hey, that means I ended 3-1. I'm not sad about that at all. I find it very unlikely that I won, but in my 2 tournaments, I guess with last week including the 1 win, I'm 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-1. I don't think that's too bad. Otherwise, folks, that's going to be the whole stream. Really appreciate that it could work out this time. Hey, if you liked what you saw, subscribe, like. Appreciate everybody who is out there watching. Have a good evening. See you on the other side.